Welcome all. I'm Professor RVD, and we would be starting today with the second module, that is stack and queues. The very first topic is abstract data type. So here we need to understand the concept of abstract data type, because that is what we would be using in all the further chapters whenever we would be defining a new data structure. Now, abstract data type. We can understand abstract data type as a mathematical model which is defined by a set of values and a set of operations. So whenever we have to think about any new data structure, there are two things which we always have to define clearly: that how the data can be stored in my data structure and how the data will be operated. So what are the different operations possible on that particular data? So if I combine the concept of how it will be stored, or the detail about how the data would be stored and what are the different operations I can perform on my data structure, then combined this would be considered as a abstract data type. Okay, it is obviously considered as abstract. That is because it provides the implementation independent view of the system. So, generally, whenever we are defining ADT, we would not be relying upon any particular language as such. The details or the description of the operations given is implementation independent, and that's the reason it is called as abstract. Based on the user's choice, user can very well try to implement the given or the defined ADT into any of the programming language. uh, your abstract data type obviously has some kind of a connection with the abstraction process. We have an abstraction process. Generally we understand that process as uh, describing or making only the necessary details visible and the other details are hidden. So that is the process of abstraction. Okay, so your abstract data type is necessarily doing the same. It rather abstracts the process, okay, by a well defined steps or well defined rules. So generally, any data structure you go for, you would be rather first defining its ADT, understanding its functions very well using ADT, and then you would be thinking of implementing the ADT. Some basic examples of ADT you can see first is array. So array, obviously the elements are stored in a contiguous allocation, so that's the storage requirement, and the various operations we can perform on array is insert, delete. Then I can very well sort the array, I can search in the array. So if I combine all these things together, I would say I have defined the ADT of the array. Similarly, set obviously can be one of the ADTs that we can define. See, in set, I can maybe have a storage using array, or if you go ahead, you can even think of using a linked list. That depends. But in set, I would need a storage, and when we'll define the operations, there would be some operations which would be similar to array ADT, but some of them would be different. For example, in array, insertion of duplicate elements would be obviously allowed. But when I will try to define the insert operation on set, I need to check whether that element which I'm trying to insert is already present or not. If it is present already, then the insert should fail. So based on the particular ADT, some operations are obviously going to have a different idea or a different logic. One more typical example of ADT is a ratio. Now you know how exactly ratio is being described using the numerator and denominator. So maybe ratio, I can have two elements, that is numerator and denominator, and then I can think of having operations of adding two ratios or subtracting two ratios, multiplying, dividing two ratios, finding reciprocals. So all such operations could be the part of the ADT. The other example is also possible where maybe I can try having a 3D vector where I will have xi plus yj plus zk would be the form of the vector which I would store. So coefficients x, y, z can be stored. Maybe the simpler version of that could be a complex number where I will be storing a plus bi. So I'll store the real part or imaginary part, and I can even think about the various operations that I can perform. Okay, so depending on your requirements, you can even have a new systems being defined in the form of ADT. In this course, we would be learning some already existing ADT like stack, queues, linked list, trees, and so on, and graphs and all these things. Fine. So I hope you got a clear idea about what is abstract data type. Okay. So now, as I said, we've already started with the second module. So in the further lectures, we would be focusing on stack and stack related all the details. And further in the second half of the this particular module, we'll be looking at the different type of queues. Okay, so that's all for this lecture for the time being. Thank you.